it's really important to, it's not always easy, but it's very important to, when we want to pursue our dreams, to also educate those before us on why we want to pursue those dreams and why we see value in it.
Hey Wildcats, my name is Nicole Camacho and you are currently watching or listening to UAZ Podcast. Today I'm here with my colleagues
Rebecca Ursule, Seliat.
Today we have a very special guest, Antonio Padilla. He is a music education student at the School of Music here at the U of A. He is an active performer in the Tucson community, playing across classical, jazz, mariachi ensembles. He has been a trumpet player for 9 years, and for the past 2 years he was also had the privilege for performing with the mariachi music. His first mariachi experience was here at the University with Mariachi Arizona, so thank you so much, Antonio, for coming on the podcast to inspire students here at the U of A. So for our first question is, as a music education student here at the U of A, how has performing across classical, jazz, and mariachi ensembles shaped your identity as both a musician and also a future educator?
The biggest thing about performing across all different types of ensembles is what makes you, this is subject to opinion, but I've always kind of believed that the more versatile you are as a musician, the more valuable you are. Not to deny anybody's value in the community, but the more versatile you can be and flexible and willing to learn more things, the more opportunities that are offered to you and the more you get to explore for yourself. And I've always found value in seeking opportunities and also just learning new things. Be open to learning new things.
Yeah, this is your second time on the podcast, which I'm really, really excited about. I've learned that you are, you have a new opportunity up in Japan, so please talk about that. And we also want to congratulate you on this new opportunity.
Thank you. This is something that has been in the works. For probably about 2 months now, and I just officially announced it publicly. Essentially what it is there's so the Tokyo Sinfonia is a chamber orchestra made up of roughly 30 string players, I want to say, and they offer a international conducting workshop every year They have 3 sessions in usually June, July, and August, and they offer it to 5 conductors internationally. And I was one of the 5 conductors selected for this year's workshop in June. And basically what happens is I go up there and I work with the conductor privately as well as the orchestra privately for 10 days. 10 days of workshops, and I will get, I think they say roughly 3 hours of rehearsal time, if not more. And then at the end of the workshops, we put on a performance in the center of Tokyo in Oji Hall, which I'm very excited about. And applying for this opportunity was kind of unique because I was worried that because I was younger, that they were going to deny my application, because there's a lot of opportunities where they say like, oh, well, you're not working on your master's degree or something like that. So they're like, give us like a couple more years and then come back. But this was, I had a recommendation from a conductor here in Tucson. His name's Toru Tagawa. I've worked alongside him and his assistant conductor, Yudi Ueda, who are both people. Yudi is a doctoral student from here at the university, and they're both from Japan. And I guess both of their recommendations were very highly, were taken very highly into consideration when selecting me. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I would not have gotten that opportunity had I not seeked that out here in Tucson, which is very random. Sort of seems like a random connection, like Tucson, Arizona, getting me all the way to Japan. And I publicly announced it because, part of it's because I'm proud of it. And I wanted to tell everybody about this cool special opportunity that I got as so early on in my career and in my education. And also because, unfortunately, when it comes to, of course, being a broke college student, they make you pay for everything.
Yeah.
So I wanted to reach out to my community and see if anybody would be able to help me out. And so far, I'm so grateful for the people that I work with in this community, because they've helped me out quite a bit already. Some have offered to pay for my flight, and have donated money to a pool that I started, which is in my bio in my account. If anyone ever wants to support.
Yeah.
I don't like asking for money. I think it's like just a morality thing, but I thought it was, sometimes you have to reach out to your community and ask for some help, and I do need a little help with this, but I'm going to get there. I'm very determined to get there.
Yeah, growing up, I was in orchestra, and my teacher's name was Mr. Tagawa. So we might know the same person.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you said you were in like the Amphi district.
Yes.
Yeah. He's the orchestra teacher at CDO. That is him.
Oh my god.
He is the one
we know the same
Yes, we do know the same person. Yes, Toru is the orchestra teacher at CDO, and he's the one who I've been working alongside with a lot, as well as like his assistant conductor Yudi, and they're the ones who have given me a lot of opportunity in conducting. I'll be conducting the repertoire orchestra this March alongside him in a reading session. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. Thank you for coming back to the UAZ podcast again for the third time.
Yeah, this is the second time. Yeah.
Yeah, we are happy to have you again and having like more conversations with you about your music experiences. So when it comes to conducting, when did you learn how to conduct? Was it something that was like a skill that you wanted to enrich in? Like, how did you find the passion?
So it's funny because it all originated from middle school, actually. My middle school band director, Mr. Walovich, gave me this opportunity to conduct my own small ensemble, which is basically just like it basically was a group of my friends, music friends, who created a middle school level ensemble, and we just played songs and I conducted them. And I had such a fun time doing it. And it was all because like I wanted a conductor's baton, I think for my birthday or Christmas or something. And a family member got me like a cheap one off Amazon for like $10. And I was like, oh, this is so much fun. And then it developed into this whole passion of like, I want to be a conductor one day. And I'm like, and my middle school teacher always said like, I bet you'll make a great teacher one day. And I wasn't like fully invested originally in going into the education. I mean, I was a middle schooler. So obviously being a teacher wasn't like the biggest dream I could think of at the time. I knew I wanted to be a conductor. And then I got to high school and got more opportunities to conduct percussion ensembles. And this is all simply because I asked for these opportunities, which is why they're so valuable. And sorry, my train of thought. And I would keep asking for them, and when they wouldn't always say yes, obviously, when you're young and you're still learning, the experience is opportunities are sometimes limited, but I was very grateful for what I was given, and that just only grew my dream further and further. And then the education element started to come into play. Because I would get asked to like lead sectionals and then start leading ensembles and doing that. And this started in high school, and my band director, Miss Shane, she really kind of sparked this light in me. I don't know what it was. Whatever it kind of made me realize that I also love teaching, which was why I'm here doing my music education degree right now.
Conducting is such a great, crucial aspect when it comes to music, because I do lead a choir, a kids choir, and usually when I'm conducting, the kids are following what I'm doing.
Yes.
And so if I go like in a wrong direction, they also stop singing, or because they're looking at you. So I feel like when it comes to conducting, like you really need a great person to do it, like with skills, and keep on developing such skills, because you become like a driver. So it's like you conduct, you're the driver really of the whole group, and it's really a very great skill, and I'm glad that you're developing on that. You have played trumpet for 9 years and discovered mariachi more recently here at the UVA. What drew you to mariachi music, and how did that experience change your perspective on musical expression and the culture overall?
Well, the thing about mariachi was I grew up with it. I come from a traditionally I come from a Mexican family, and I was surrounded by the music all my life from when I was a baby until even now. But I was so invested in classical and jazz that it was a genre that I didn't know anything about, and I didn't really know who to go to find that opportunity.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, it got offered to me, and I was like, oh, well, here's a way in to this community that I am not totally sure about, that I have no experience in. And at the time, I had played in marching band and concert bands and orchestras, etc., etc. And it's the one genre that I was so unfamiliar with, but I knew what it was. And it was actually because of a mutual friend who was friends with someone in the mariachi. It's like a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And they come up to me and they're like, my friend needs a trumpet player for their mariachi at the U of A. Would you be interested? I was like, I'm like a senior in high school at the time. And I was like, yeah, I guess. And I showed up, and at the time the U of A's program was a bit smaller, and so they were able to take me in as a senior. Now it's grown into a more organized entity, and it's grown tremendously. It's an amazing program right now. I'm quite excited to see where it's going to go now that it's divided into a performing group as well as a learning group.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of took it and ran with it. That's pretty much what happened. Which I feel like, at least me personally, I've tended to do with most of my opportunities, is I kind of take them and try and see how much I can learn out of them and just go the extra mile.
And when it comes to the music selections, like some of the songs played, did you like sing them before you had joined the mariachi group? Because you said you come from that background.
Yeah, it was funny. Like a couple months before I joined the program, I think I sang I did karaoke with a Vicente Fernandez song, and I remember saying, "It's like, this is I actually really want to do this." Obviously, I wasn't going to tell everybody because then they're gonna, my family would be like, "Oh, sing for me." I mean, they do that now, anyways. Yeah. But at the time, I was like, "Oh, this is just fun," and then it grew into this thing, and I have grown to love singing and performing. Yeah. Mariachi has grown me into another level of performing that I never really connected with until I joined it, because it teaches you a new way of connecting with your audience and a new way of paying attention to what your voice is doing well, what is your body doing well. Everything is with intention. Yeah. Learning how everything is with intention. And I've applied those skills to other things that I've done in other ensembles, and it's taught me a lot, and it's also just kept me very connected to my cultural roots as well, which is another level of why it's so special to me and why I got so invested into it.
Yeah. Do you find yourself singing sometimes when you're doing something, maybe your homework, you're driving?
Oh, all the time. All the time. Yeah. Trying to avoid I don't know, my brain goes everywhere sometimes when I'm thinking about a lot of things, and I'll just start singing something very random or something. It's
I know there's a thin line between passion and your job. Do they overlap? Do you see music as your job that you have to wake up to do, or you just see it's coming from your heart and then you just
There is an overlap. Because on the one hand, okay. There's this I find there to be a stigma with especially music education that there's quote unquote no money in it, or it's not a valuable job as the traditional lawyer, doctor, engineer, etc. But there's so much more sentimental value to it that me personally, I want to be able to obviously afford to take care of myself and do all the things. Yeah. But it's not just a monetary value. It's not something that can be weighed in a monetary value. And I wake up and sometimes I'm just dreading my music theory class, but I am still excited to get up for the day and go do the things that I love to do. I love to teach, and I love to get paid for it too. That's always a plus. I work with a group called Tucson New Horizons, which is a band program for seniors 50 and older. And I am an official employee of U of A, and I do log hours for that. But honestly, I would probably still do it even if it wasn't for money, because especially that ensemble in particular has given me so much opportunity to grow as a musician, and has led to me getting opportunities like Japan. Those are when people see that you're out doing things and willing to learn and then advancing through those skills, there's value in it, and it leads to more. Yeah.
So you've talked about your experience in a mariachi group at the University of Arizona, which is the Mariachi Arizona.
Yes.
So how would you advise students to transform their campus involvement into real world professional opportunities? So for example, there's some students that just join clubs in school and that's where it ends. After college, they don't use it anymore. So how can you advise students to go further after their college degree and then, implementing what they learned from those experiences in school to real world life practice?
Yeah. Obviously being a music ed major, and it's a very specific degree. So obviously what you're learning you're going to want to take it elsewhere, because that's how you advance in your career. Otherwise, it kind of be counterproductive to just stay in your college ensemble or your college classes and not really branch out anywhere else. Because then I feel like you're not really learning anything, because you're not putting yourself in the real world aspect of it. And I think I would assume that can be applied to most degrees, is whatever skills you're learning in your degree, you can probably take them beyond this campus. Whether you're in state, out of state, reach out to people, talk to people. I emphasize so much to talk to people. I don't know why we don't talk more. Because I just went to a music educators conference, because that's, it's a conference of people who have gone through this process and have this degree. And I talked to so many different people who have so many different views and opinions and wise advice and just words of wisdom. And I just don't know why people don't talk to each other more. There's so much value in talking to each other, and that's what leads to more opportunities, and that's how you can grow just outside of your degree. I feel like sometimes college students stay in this bubble, in this little bubble that's this is my building, this is my safe place, and this is where I'm learning all the things, and one day I will go out in the real world and do it. But not right now. I don't think it's kind of counterproductive. Just do everything you can to seek opportunity and to seek value in what you want to do with your life, with your degree, whatever you see fit.
Every time we have a guest, they kind of say the same thing. Where they say to be involved, join clubs, do internships at a younger age, because that's when you know when you like something and when you don't like something.
It's true. And yes, you should go join more clubs and do all these things, but I also seek value in just going out into the real world of whatever you're studying. Go, I assume you guys are journalists, and are you guys all in the journalism program for a degree? Oh, you're the only one? Yeah. No, that's okay too. Yeah. But this is also something that you branched out to and realized you interested in. But I know you were telling me you want to focus your journalism degree into more pop culture and entertainment?
Yeah.
And now that we've been talking to each other more, you can come to one of my performances, which is completely unrelated to the U of A.
Yeah.
Well, some of them might be, I don't know. But for the most part, it's a completely unrelated thing to what you're doing, but it's going to add value to your experience. And then those connections build more and more and more. Yeah. So there's more to it than just put yourself out there in college and go talk to other students and teachers, because that's all that's all between Broadway and Speedway. That's all it is. You know, and there's so much more world out there. Even if you're an out-of-state student, there's Uber. But even if you're an out-of-state student, there are people you can reach out to, and there are people who are from here too that you can talk to who know those people. Like I love when people come up to me and ask me just if I know this person. Unfortunately, most of the time I do, because Tucson is a very small place. It seems like a big place, but it's a very small world where everyone kind of knows everybody. But there's value in that, and you should seek that.
I think that's one of my favorite parts of having this podcast, because we just cold email people, and we're even surprised like people answer us and like schedule, because it's just scary that you just get an email asking to be a guest on the podcast. Like,
this is
what?
true.
But just making those connections is so true. Like, it makes Tucson feel even smaller than it already is.
It does.
Yeah.
Someone came up to me today. One of the TAs in my theory class came up to me, and he said he went to Kansas City for a graduate audition, and he was in an Uber, and he was talking to the Uber and said that, oh yeah, I do music, and I'm from the U of A. And the Uber is like, oh, my daughter, do you know Antonio? My daughter is friends with him. I still don't know who this mom is, who this random Uber driver in Kansas City is, if you are listening to this for whatever reason. I think he said her name was Nicole, but I can't remember the mom Nicole's in my head right now.
Yeah.
But if you're watching this, I'm here. I'm here. Please reach out. That's wonderful. But that goes to show, like, when you put yourself out there, how much you don't realize who's watching you.
Yeah.
You don't realize who's watching you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel surrounded by cameras right now, a little bit right now. But you never know who's watching, and you never know who really is who's like your super fans and who care about you. And that's why it's important to just put yourself out there.
Yeah. Mariachi is both a musical and cultural tradition, so how do you balance on honoring each root and while helping it evolve within academic music education setting?
Are you talking like mariachi specific? Okay, so that one I'm actually quite excited about, because there's not a lot of I feel like there's not a lot of music ed community people who are invested in the mariachi scene. But in Tucson, there's such a huge mariachi scene. But a lot of the teachers who have done it for years and years and years, they didn't go through a music education program, because it's a very different way of learning music. And at least me personally, and along with some of the people here in the music ed department, we're trying to work on ways that we can sort of modernize this way of learning and help improve it to set up kids better for the future as well. Because I mean, everything has to change at some point.
Yeah.
Everything has to change at some point to evolve with what's going on. So I'm trying to work on ways that we can stay true to the traditions of teaching and learning, because there are important things to know about when you're teaching mariachi. There's no like method book that can tell you everything.
Yeah.
You know, you can't read a book on mariachi or an article or learn a song and say I know everything about mariachi, because there's so many layers to it. There's so many layers that go back to like the original set of Mariachi Vargas, all the way up to now with more contemporary style pieces and newer styles of playing mariachi. There's so much history in between that, and then before mariachi even adapted to like what it is now. Like before, it used to be just like an arpa, a violin, a vihuela, which is it's a 5-string guitar.
Yeah.
And singers, and it slowly evolved over time and added trumpets, and then arpa became kind of a more niche part of having not every group has a harp, there's so much has evolved since then, and there's no reason it can't continue to improve. And I'm actually really excited to start working on more projects with that, especially with the group Mariachi Nuevo Azteca. I've learned so much, especially from my other trumpet player Walter, who's had a lot more experience than I have in this world, because he started when he was younger, when he was like a kid in middle school, probably even elementary school. And just learning from other people has been the best way that I can learn about this art. And it's all just trying to find ways to put that into teaching. It's a lot of information. It's not easy. I've had friends who have told me, at least in the School of Music, they're like, mariachi is where jazz was, where there wasn't as many technique books, or all there was recordings and people. There's recordings and people who knew everything about it, or who knew like so much about a specific layer of that genre. And then now we've seen how jazz has evolved into schools, into method books, into all these other things. And there's so many more people who now have learned about it and applied to education, and you can reach out to. With mariachi, it's a little different in the sense that like we're still evolving, because before, like, in earlier years there wasn't much written mariachi music. It was mostly just by ear, by recordings, and by people who knew. And now there's more recordings, and now sheet music is becoming more standard. And then it's just like developing those new teaching methods into all that. There's a lot of layers to it. I could talk about it for a very long time.
Well, given that you've realized that the majority of the teachers who teach mariachi didn't like go through the traditional school routes, like how do you hope to integrate like their knowledge into what you guys are doing? Like, are you hoping to work collectively with them, like collaborating with them so that they can teach you some of those skills? Like, how are you working to ensure that you bring some of their unique experiences into the educational system?
Yes, I'm so fond of bringing in mariachis who have been playing their entire lives, and I don't see, there's no reason. I'm sorry, I'm going over my words a little bit. I would like to collaborate with mariachi teachers that are out there now, because there's a lot of mariachi educators, there's a lot of music educators who graduate and are given mariachi programs and are just kind of not sure what to do with it, because they weren't taught it through this system. And now this is a very modern system of learning and then going out and teaching mariachi, because a lot of teaching jobs now, they require that bachelor's degree or that master's degree if you want to teach at the collegiate level. And so it's taking in that information from those who have lived through it, who have lived through the history of it, and have developed their style of teaching, and then applying it to the newer ways of like going through a music education system, and then eventually, because now you have all this foundational knowledge that is harder to get outside of school or university or high school, and applying it to all these traditional methods that I've only been heard but never actually put pen to paper.
So like, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as an educator in the future, the music world, or as a performer?
It's hard, because I've told a lot of my friends this, like I go back and forth between wanting to get my master's in conducting, or just wanting to teach and conducting anyways. But I'm more leaning towards teaching, because I see so much value in teaching, and also helping other people learn how to teach. When I went to that conference, to the AMEA conference, I was so in my element, because especially talking about mariachi, there wasn't as many people who knew about it. So I loved people asking me questions, because I had some of those answers, and I also knew like who I could ask for some of those answers, which is what helps get that ball rolling. And I'm not even sure what I want to teach, honestly. There's an assortment of things. There's an assortment of things, but on some level, I want to be able to incorporate teaching and conducting in my career in some capacity.
So when it comes to the mariachi, like the beautiful aspects of it, that's it's still missing when it comes to the educational routes of it. Like, do you see yourself like documenting and kind of like writing out a guide that will help other young people who want to go in that specific direction? That's
a good question, because I don't know. I feel like with any genre, you can't just like, there's no like Bible to any genre and learning any genre. You have to be willing to do your research and to go beyond just like the forefront of any research that you do on any topic. You have to be willing to go the extra mile to talk to the people who are in this world and who have been in this world. So I don't know, it's a balance. I would love to try and develop like a curriculum on teaching teachers how to teach mariachi. And showing them better places to look for methods on how to teach it.
I think that would be the best route, because the people who are teaching right now who possesses like those great skills will die in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now.
It's true.
So
it's
we'll
true.
have
It's a grim truth, but it is true.
But so if you can be able to document some of those skills and those insights and ideas, I think that will help the next generation, because you have something written down. Sometimes it's really hard to teach people when you don't have like the proof to it, given that we're going into the modern world. When it comes to AI, we have all these documentations, and so when you don't have something written down, people will be like, what are you teaching us? That means this doesn't exist. But like, if you can find a space where you can be able to do more, like you mentioned, going extra mile of doing research, so you have to reach out to those specific people who are like deeper in those roots. I think that will help out a lot of other young people who would love to learn mariachi in the future.
That's definitely a very important aspect to, like, a very important thing to push towards students as well, that like, you cannot learn everything from a method book. You can't learn everything. You can, any sources that are out there are all foundational, and it's good to keep those fundamentals in you and going through your career every day. It's good to have those fundamentals, but then you have to be able to look beyond those fundamentals, because that's how you advance as a musician. If you just stick to one way and one way only, and you're not a flexible musician, it's gonna make your life a lot harder.
I understand that when it comes to the traditional stuff, sometimes you have to go with it like by the way it is written down sometimes. But when it comes to like secular stuff, I think you have to really be so flexible, because when it comes to tradition, like if you change anything, it changes the meaning of everything.
I'm very grateful to work with, especially I've worked with other teachers in the area. I've worked with Mr. Figueroa, who is the teacher at Sunnyside. He's come and worked with Mariachi Arizona before. And he played with Mariachi Cobre, which is a professional mariachi that tours and is very well known in the mariachi world. And when he works with us, it's so nice to see how he takes, because he works with high schoolers, so it's nice to see how he's developed his teaching style, but he also is like I would consider him like one of those maestros of mariachi music, because he was with that genre and he had learned from those people, and that knowledge is passed down, and now he's developed his own teaching style, but also kept all the traditions and the knowledge that he has and made it more valuable. That's kind of the whole that's the whole process of any learning, really.
So for students who are unsure about pursuing this cultural path of music, what encouragement or advice would you give to them based on your own journey and your experience?
In terms of like going into music education or music in general?
The traditional one, the mariachi music itself.
Okay.
Because sometimes they might feel unencouraged. Maybe.
I there's definitely like, I do see a stigma like that stigma we were talking about earlier towards like music education and it not being like a value. everyone has their different views on what they see as a valuable career and whatnot, especially like how when you're younger, sometimes your family we all have family who tells us things that are a little discouraging, and you're like, but that's what I want to do. So why can't I do that? But it's really important to, it's not always easy, but it's very important to, when we want to pursue our dreams, to also educate those before us on why we want to pursue those dreams and why we see value in it. That's not an easy thing to do. I'm not saying that you should all go and fight every battle to the fullest that you can. It's not easy. It takes a lot of courage to step up and be like, this is for yourself, or for if you have to tell like your parents that, or your family that, like, this is what I want to do. But you have to go for it. You have to go for it. No matter what culture you come from, no matter what anything, race, gender, sexuality, identity of any kind, you should be able to do what you want to pursue. You should be able to do what you want to pursue in life, regardless of what it is. It may seem silly, it may seem whatever, but maybe you have to be that person. Maybe you just have to be that person, and you never know what you're going to do. I know that I can say for myself, I've had family who really didn't seem to understand why I wanted to be a music educator. I mean, they all just kind of like, oh, he likes music, he plays instruments, that's fun. but now I know, if I had kind of listened and been like, oh, I'm just gonna do some major that everyone might universally see valuable, I don't know where I would be. I don't know where I would be without music in general. But I'm so content and happy with the path that I chose, because it's my dream career, and I'm pursuing my dreams. And like Japan, or all these or the other ensembles that I've conducted in the past, I would have never gotten to do those things if I didn't just do it. I just do it. And sometimes you have to take the no's. But the answer is always no unless you ask. The answer is always no. Yeah, the answer is always no unless you ask. And so you have to keep going. You have to be able to want to pursue your dreams and do what you need to do that.
I like what you said about having conversations with like your family, your parents, and telling them this is what I want to pursue, and like you're letting them see how you're passionate about it. Because if you do something else that you're not happy with, you will just end up being miserable, or even get into depression. Thank you for the advice.
Everyone has their own unique situation, and I can't speak for everyone, because we all have our battles. But it's important to do what you love. If I had listened to, I'm not saying this with my family or anything, but if I had listened to people who had told me that, oh, well, there's no money in that career, or why would you want to do that? I don't know what I would do. I'd be bored. Yeah. I'd be in my room and just do nothing and work boring jobs or something. I don't know. I'd be doing things that I wouldn't enjoy. I'd just be doing them for whatever monetary value, or just the simple fact that I have to do them. Yeah. There's no fun in that.
So a little birdie told me that you're starting a new podcast.
Yes.
Called Mariachi Mike. Do you want to speak on what it's going to be about?
Sure.
What you guys are going to talk about? Who's going to be hosting? All that jazz.
So, I mean, obviously, I'm still improving on my speaking skills. I tend to get a little distracted in my brain and I thinking of so many topics at once. But I'm gonna get better at it. It all comes with practice. Yes. And again, this is one of those opportunities that I'm going to kind of try and take and run with.
Yeah.
And me and my friend Michael Sanchez, he was here with me when I first did the podcast with you guys. And as you guys opened it up to the campus and offered the opportunity if you wanted to start your own podcast, we thought, well, we've seen mariachi podcasts before that are done and talked to some really big people in the mariachi world, and they're good places to learn things that you might not have heard from anyone else before, because it's just people talking about their experiences, and it goes a long way. And I think, and so we came up with, well, originally we had another name, but the name we settled on was the Mariachi Mic, which is sort of a platform that we want to create, especially for the mariachi community here in Tucson, because it's huge. The mariachi community here in Tucson is so huge. Except everybody knows each other. It's that, it must be a Tucson thing. I don't know. Or like, I don't know, big cities, or I don't know, big town, small city type of thing. But I want it to be a platform. Me and Michael have both kind of come up with a sort of foundation for it, that we want it to be a place where they can talk about their real life experiences, but also be and have an educational aspect. And it's just a place to talk, mariachi, and also other things that, you know, developed into mariachi. Talk to educators, performers, teachers, I said educators, and open that environment for people to be able to speak.
I love that idea, because I'm sure like so many people are gonna benefit from that, even if they don't come from that background. But listening to those experiences, if you have an hour conversation with somebody, I'm sure they'll be able to share half of their life experience with the audience. So many people would love to listen to you guys, and I'm glad that it's coming up soon.
Yeah, that's my goal, because I mean, if you were a student and you saw that your teacher was going to be on a podcast. That's an element that you haven't seen them in yet. You haven't seen them in an outside element where they're just talking, or maybe you have. I don't know, but it's a completely different place where they're talking about they might be talking about completely different things that you've never heard them say before, that you're gonna find value in.
And also it's another chance to learn more about your teachers or your professors, because most of them they don't share their life experiences in classes because they have a topic to cover. But listening to that conversation, it will help you learn more about what they have done to reach where they are,
exactly,
who help them along the way. So I feel like it's a lot of value to the community, and also to the University of Arizona as a whole.
Oh yeah, especially for the mariachi community, younger than just the collegiate level, because outside of the educational community, mariachi community, there is just the performing mariachis here in town. There are several very high level performing mariachis here. There's Mariachi Sonido, Mariachi Pueblo Viejo, and the mariachi that I play with, Mariachi Nuevo Azteca, and so many more different community groups. And it's important to hear what they have to say too, because they're the people that are living in it right now, who all are living completely different lives, but all come together for this same mutual purpose.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Antonio, for coming on the podcast and sharing your story in music and becoming a music educator in the future, and also talking about your new opportunity in Japan that we want to, again, congratulate you for. And also, congratulations on starting a new podcast here at the U of A, and starting a new journey and working on the speaking skills.
Yes, I'm gonna work on my speaking. No more ums and buts and buts.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and to everyone who's watching, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and don't forget to check out Antonio's page. Look at the bio for the link if you want to donate for his new journey up in Japan to learn how to be a conductor.
Anything is appreciated. Also, if you ever just want to reach out and ask questions, I love when people reach out and ask me questions. It's wonderful, and I hope to do more community outreach as I keep going.
Thank you.
Thank you.